What do you believe could be improved in school safety?
I think school safety can be improved by hiring more school safety officers, maybe having a couple staff members designated and some sort of safety classes, whether it's concealing permit carry or self-defense or something.
What do you think has changed over the years in school safety?
I think overall school safety has changed for the better. A lot of schools have metal detectors, they have locked entrances, and they have implemented lockdown drills to ensure safety of staff and students.
What are your opinions on gun training for teachers and staff?
Personally, I think it would be a good idea to have certain staff members trained in guns, but it also could be a liability not only for the school district, but for insurance purposes as well. So I don't know if that would ever get passed, but I would definitely vote for it.
What are your opinions on employing unemployed veterans for school security?
I think that would be a great measure that the schools could implement retired veterans. I think with extensive training and background checks, it could actually be something worthwhile, not only to give veterans, a chance to be back into society, gainfully employed, but also for the safety of the students in the school.
What is your opinion on the ALICE program in schools?
I think the ALICE program in schools would be very beneficial, not only to the staff and students, but to the community as well. I guess it all depends on how much in-depth training each individual would receive and how they can be implemented in the certain schools and school districts in conjunction with working with the local police departments. I think, if the ALICE training came into play and just saved a couple lives, I think more schools would be in depth to maybe adopting that in their schools. So I'm sure it'll be on a trial basis to depend on how many schools actually want to take part in such a program.
What do you believe has been improved in school safety recently?
So if we're talking post-2000, most of the schools that are built after 2000 are post-Columbine schools. So the security that they have in place in schools as far as who can get into a school, what doors they can access within the school, and what they teach the students and staff members about school safety has been improved because these schools were built after Columbine.
What do you believe could still be improved in school safety?
Better education within the building on possible threats for the students. I think teachers need to be more aware of the mental health issues and how they can affect the students. So as far as different things to identify what students can possibly be going through, that you can identify early and know which children are possible at risk. So like I was saying, it's an acronym. I don't remember what it stands for. But it gives the teachers the authority to determine whether or not we flee or we stay within a situation. My school has become really good about communicating, getting on an intercom, getting on an email. We all have our phones. All of our phones access our emails to say there's an intruder. The intruder's in this part of the building. So at that point, I get to make the determination whether I think it's safe enough to flee the building with my students or whether or not it's the best idea to stay sheltered in place. From all of the police officers that I've talked to, when you make that decision to flee, you're now responsible for all of those lives outside of a locked door, which I think is a lot of pressure on a teacher when you're already in a very stressful environment. And most of the time, if the teacher can barricade the door, lock the door, barricade the door, a shooter is not going to get in. Most of the victims during these school shootings are happening in the hallways, unlocked classrooms. So I wish, besides locked doors, that I had something to attach to my classroom door and then the wall, so that even if the lock is open, they still cannot get the door open. But I don't, even if I could flee with the kids, I don't think that I would.
What are your opinions on gun training for teachers and staff as a teacher's perspective?
No. Teachers should not be trained how to have a gun. That's not what I went to college for. That's not my career. And when you're already, like, I feel like the teacher's responsibility is to keep the kids as safe as possible. So you're already, like, if there was, God forbid, an active shooter in your building, you're already stressed, you're already worried. The last thing that I would want to do is trying to decide who in my building should have a gun. Some of those teachers, they should not have guns.
What are your opinions on employing unemployed veterans and police officers for better school security?
Well, we already have a police officer, and she is armed. I would be very concerned about veterans, because a lot of them do, especially those who saw combat, suffer from PTSD. So they've been known to snap suddenly without warning and to harm themselves or other loved ones. So if that was something that the government was going to implement, they needed to go through a very, very strict mental health screening, which we don't have in place yet. So putting them as security guards, that's great. We already have like a dozen security guards within our school. They're not armed.
We only have one.
What?
Yeah.
We have an armed police officer, and we have deans, we call them dean's assistants, and they roam the hallways dealing with the kids. And we have probably, okay, maybe not a dozen. There's probably like 8. But yeah.
Okay, we have one security guard.
No, we have a lot more than that. And our school is a post-Columbine school, so it's already a very secure building. But I would not arm teachers or other people. We don't need more guns in schools. No. So.
Okay.
Hey, Trinity wanted me to talk about how I feel about gun control. I think guns are absolutely not the issue, and it's just the easy thing to blame instead of blaming mental health issues, which is what the real problem is. Kids are pumped so full nowadays where they're totally chemically imbalanced and they're losing their minds. And then also there's a lack of parenting. People are afraid to discipline their children. And so the children just run the show. And if there is an issue like mental health, the parents are afraid to address it. They're afraid to take their kids and get help because they're going to be judged or this or that. But no matter what you do, like you take away the guns, it's not going to solve the issue. The guns are not the ones that are killing people. It's the people that are killing people. A gun cannot kill someone without a person behind it pulling the trigger. What is it the gun? Somebody, there was this argument. Somebody mentioned, when a child is hitting another child with a toy, you take the toy away. Well, is it the toy that's hitting the other child? Or is it the child hitting the other child with the toy? Which one is the problem? So you take the toy away. Are you correcting the toy or are you correcting the child? Which one are you going to discipline? You should be disciplining the child. So you can take the gun away, but they're still going to find a way to hit it. Just like if a child wants to hit another child, you take the toy away, they're still going to smack them. They're going to smack the other kid with their hand, their fist. It's not the solution. You need to get down to the root of the problem. The root of the problem is not guns. It's easy to blame, and it's a stupid agenda. It's just pathetic. But anyways, well, that's my opinion on gun control. It's just very basic and common sense. But also I wanted to talk about how the schools are teaching the children to handle these situations and all these drills, and they're basically being taught to be sitting ducks. And I get it, there's so many students and they have to look out for everyone's safety. But simple things like barricading the doors, finding a solution to keep the doors locked. A teacher can walk up and they can lock a door, just, deadbolt, whatever. The guy has a gun, he can blow the deadbolt out. and get right in. There needs to be other ways where they cannot open the door. And also there needs to be emergency exits where the students don't just have to run down the hallway. Why is there not an emergency exit in every room, whether it be through window with the roll down ladders and they go through the window, or whichever way, a way for them to get out. Lining up against a wall is not saving their lives. They're just waiting for them to get in the room. Why are these children not being taught that textbooks can stop bullets? No, they are not going to stop armor-piercing bullets. Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Nothing's going to stop that. But if they come in with a 22 or a 9mm or a 38, textbooks can stop them. You have them holding their book bags up over their heads, over their hearts, curl them up like this so that they are not just sitting ducks, just waiting for them to come in and get lit up execution style. Why are these things not being taught to the students? And I want to know why the hell my husband can come to the school, Plainfield Central, ring that bell and be buzzed in like that, not identifying himself, not saying what student he is there to get. I could walk up to there and say, I'm there to get Mike Jones, and they're going to let me in. I'm not Mike Jones' mom. I'm Trinity Jones' mom. They don't know that. They don't know who I am. My husband can do the same thing. And he could be there to light the whole school up, just like a student. I'm here to pick up so-and-so. Once they're in, they're in. Plainfield Central, security there is pathetic. Pathetic. As we go east, they have 8 security guards. 8. Plainfield has 1. What's he going to do? How is he going to stop any of it? Real safe. So you guys do drills once every month, every other month. There's threats. You guys call school off sometimes. But there is no security.